Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, friends and neighbors.
We've been gone a week.
We have. We took the week off last week. We missed you. Hope you missed us a little bit. We were in San Antonio with Neisha's Puerto Rican side of her family, trying to gently, respectfully say no to the carbohydrates.
It's hard.
Yeah.
We also did a meetup with Keto Chow. Maybe some of you were there. If you were, put it in the comments so we can say hi to you guys. I know we met a few people from the group. Coach Paulette was there.
Yes.
That was fun.
That was awesome. We always love meeting you guys. Too bad more of you guys couldn't have come to San Antonio, but there's always next year, right?
always next year. Always London, too. You don't want to chime in on London?
I mean, it's whatever. Yes, I'm very excited to go to London.
Dr. Berry's going to be talking at the PHC conference. We're going to be there with... Who else is going to be there?
The Unwins are going to be there.
Well, yes, they're the Unwins, and then it's
Isabella Cooper is going to be there. There's going to be a ton of people there.
There's some big names coming. I just
big names,
I've
and we've been busy today, so we're not prepared. But there's going to be some important folks there. You can also watch it virtually.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, and I have a discount code for members of our private community that they'll get 5 or 10% off. I'm going to post that tomorrow in the community. So if anybody in the community can't go to London, but you'd like to watch the summit virtually, you'll be able to do that with a little bit of discount.
Not too much of a time difference either. Not a huge time
6
difference.
6 hours, yeah. But I think it's going to be recorded so you can watch it whenever. All right, guys. Now is the time for you to ask your questions. We're going to answer as many questions as we can, but we also may pontificate. We may go off on a tangent. We may answer some questions more thoroughly than others. I am a family physician. If you're new to us, Neisha is a registered nurse and a certified breastfeeding consultant and a certified health coach. We both eat proper human diets. And if you don't know what that is, if you're like, what's a proper human diet exactly? There's a free guidebook down in the show notes. You can click the link and we'll email you a free copy of the little guidebook that explains all the principles.
Make sure you put an email that you use and check your spam, okay?
Proper human diet. Sorry. We'll come back.
Oh, mine just did something too.
Granny Berry is watching tonight, so all you guys, please say hi to Granny Berry. She's my 94-year-old grandmother.
She just had a birthday.
And she ate a little bit of cake, but not too much. Ain't that right, Granny Berry? And she loves it when you guys say hi and tell her where you're saying hi from.
Tell her happy birthday.
Yeah, and belated happy birthday. Absolutely. She is now 94. I said that earlier a few months ago, and I got in trouble for saying she was 94.
I feel like 94, you get a whole birthday year, right? You get to celebrate all
year. You should get a birthday year. Absolutely. All right. Let's answer some questions.
Hey, Thomas.
I'm in good health. No known issues besides my increased LDL with the carnivore diet. Can I just start using the type of supplement that you recommend? Then Thomas again, I forgot to put what type of supplement I was talking about, the iodine. So Lugol's 2% iodine, which is made by the company we use is J. Crow's. We don't have an affiliation with them at all. That's just who after I read Dr. Brownstein's book 15 years ago about iodine, I just bought them and I've been getting them ever since. Yes, you absolutely can. Every human being on the planet needs iodine for every single cell in their body. It's not just for your thyroid. Now, there's 2 people watching this live right now whose doctors have told them that they're allergic to iodine.
Just 2?
2 people. Now, I'm talking to those 2 people. You are not allergic to iodine. Your doctor was wrong. There is no such thing as a human being that's truly allergic to iodine. If you had no iodine in your body, you would die within 3 minutes.
You may be allergic to betadine.
Betadine, you may be allergic to seafoods. You may be allergic to iodinated contrast media for IVPs or CAT scans, but you are not allergic to iodine. Okay.
Also, Dr. Berry and Dr. Brownstein did a podcast, a few weeks ago?
On my channel.
Type into the YouTube search bar, Dr. Berry, Dr. Brownstein. That should pull it up if you want to learn more about iodine.
Yep. Church Point Riot. How many days should I fast to start cleaning the arteries? I think, and there's no research to prove that any one fasting method is better than any other with regards to autophagy, mitophagy, cleaning your arteries. I think an 18-hour daily fast is just as good. So you would eat within a 6-hour feasting window and fast the other 18 hours. I think that's fine. Some people do a 2-day fast once a week. Some people do a 3-day fast every other week. Some people do a 7-day fast once a month. I think all those are safe and fine. If you're injecting insulin or if you're taking prescription medications, talk to your doctor before you do a fast longer than 3 days. But yeah, any of those methods are fine, and they're going to stimulate the healing mechanisms that you're talking about, Church Point, right? I don't recommend 40-day fasts. That's a little too long. If
Also,
you're gonna do that, work with your doctor.
Just going to say, we may have noise in the background. We do have 2 dogs and 2 cats, and they don't always get along. If you hear some chaos in the background, it's probably them.
Roger, the singer in my band, Roger's in a band, dude, has an active, athletic 18-year-old daughter diagnosed with POTS. Symptoms are wide range, blood pressure, heart rate, dizzy. Can she eat Ketovore or Carnivore as a treatment? Yes, she needs plenty of salt. She needs to drink water when she's thirsty, but not drink unnecessary water. And eat as low carb as she possibly can. Very often, especially for people who are hyperinsulinemic, when they're diagnosed with POTS, when they eat a low carb enough diet to bring the insulin back down, it leads to some therapeutic diuresis, which can greatly improve the symptoms of POTS. But she definitely does not need to be following a low sodium diet. There's no real research supporting any supplements for POTS that I know of. Convincing the patient who's a teenage girl or woman is a challenge. Yes, absolutely. Some teenage women are a bit hard-headed.
Why are you looking at me? I'm not a
I was thinking about a particular daughter of mine.
No.
Now, recommendations for where to buy beef that delivers nationwide. Good question. There's multiple ranches that do this. The one that we love and trust the most is White Oak Pastures.
There's a link in the description.
I think it
gives you a little bit of a discount.
Yep, there's a link in the show notes with a little built-in discount. They are in Georgia, but they deliver in the contiguous United States. I actually interviewed Will Harris, who owns White Oak Pastures, on my farm channel. If you want to watch my interview with Will Harris, the farm channel is OB Farm, stands for Oxford Berry Farms. And you can watch that interview over there. But in the show notes of this video, there is a discount code for White Oak Pastures. But I would encourage you to find a local ranch. I love Will Harris, but he actually said in the interview, I don't want people in Washington State and Oregon ordering meat from me in Georgia and me having to ship that all the way across the country. I want them to find a local ranch that's within 2 or 3 counties of you. Buy your meat locally. And I agree.
And there's a website, I can't think of it. Maybe one of the viewers can put it, if you know what I'm talking about, a website where you can search your area for local farmers who sell beef and lamb and chickens and eggs and stuff like that. So make sure you're trying to support your local farmers.
Yep. Okay, here's a great question. Rushman, is there a difference between pasteurized milk and raw milk? Heard raw milk is nutrient-dense superfood, but pasteurized is what you need to avoid. So the actual nutrition from a macronutrient standpoint, pasteurized and raw milk is exactly the same. There's no difference. Now, the pasteurization process does alter some of the proteins in the milk. The homogenation process, which most supermarket milk is homogenized, that mucks around with the fat globules in the milk. And I think that's probably going to turn out to be a bigger problem than the pasteurization itself, especially if it's the low temperature, quick pasteurization. Milk is milk. Now, if you are a young human, say under the age of 6 years of age, then you should be drinking milk every day. But 2/3 to 3/4 of the human population on planet Earth is lactose intolerant. And somewhere between 20 and 30% of adult humans are sensitive to one of the proteins. And there's hundreds of proteins, but we call them caseins and wheys. But there's multiple different ones and variations. Many adults are sensitive to those, and they just cannot drink the milk without having inflammatory problems. I don't think milk is ancestrally appropriate for adult humans, but that's my personal opinion. Some people disagree with that, but I think if raw milk is properly handled And from a reputable dairy, I think it's completely safe, perfectly safe. All the people saying, oh my God, you'll die, kidney failure, blah, blah, blah. I guarantee you more people get food poisoning from pasteurized milk each year than from raw milk. Bet you money. So yeah, if you can find a farm that has real trustworthy raw milk, I think it's fine to drink it. I think it's less bad than pasteurized supermarket milk, but that doesn't make it a superfood. We had some raw milk cheese
We had raw milk. When I was pregnant with Beckett, we went to the salt mines.
Yep. Redmond salt mine. Yeah.
And they have a grocery store up there where they carry local raw milk, and it was delicious.
Wait, you mean you drank raw milk when you were pregnant?
Yes. Actually, it's super beneficial to drink raw milk when you're
And you
pregnant.
didn't die.
No.
Amazing.
Had a super baby.
Amazing. Thank you, Jordan, very much. Thank you, Mark, very much. Ms. Riz, meat suit.
If you could pick one study to be done on or about the carnivore diet, what study would you choose to have done?
I would do a 1 year long, if I just had unlimited money, I would have a 1 year carnivore versus vegan diet. It would be a metabolic ward study. Everybody would just give up their life and go live in the metabolic ward for a year. And half the group would eat carnivore, half the group would eat vegan for half the year. And then we would flip it. And then the ones that were vegan would be carnivore, ones carnivore would be vegan. And we do that for 6 months. Now, ain't nobody going to like that diet design setup. That's never going to happen. But that would prove and disprove so many things. It would revolutionize nutrition, where there would be no longer any doubt as to what caused diabetes, as to what increased the inflammation in the body, as to what maybe even caused cancer. There would no longer be any doubts.
Can I do mine?
Yes, let me hear yours.
I would put half of the residents in long-term care on carnivore and continue to have the other half on whatever they call their standard diet.
That's great.
And see,
like in a nursing home.
Yeah, I mean that's technically that is a
it is a ward. Yeah, metabolic ward because they're kind of captive.
And see how their symptoms improve or stay dormant or
what do you predict would happen?
I predict many of their ailments would improve and their life quality would improve, and some of them may have the ability to actually go home and take care of themselves.
Yeah, I was going to say I would predict 20% in the carnivore group would improve so much that they'd be able to live independently again. 100%. Yes. I love that.
Because I'm a registered nurse, most of my background comes from long-term care and that's awkward. My computer did something really weird. And labor delivery, but most of it long-term care. And I've seen a lot of sick people, and I would like to see less sick people and less people
100%.
in long-term care.
100%. Michelle, hey, Dr. Barry, I've been diagnosed with PVCs. Is it safe to still continue the carnivore way of eating? Thanks for all you do. Yes, it is. You need to go see a cardiologist and have a thorough workup to see what's causing your PVCs. Very often people over the age of 40 or 50 will just have 1 or 2 PVCs a minute. It's not a big deal. It's typically not considered pathology. So if your primary care doctor detected this, then you need to go see cardiology and get to the bottom of it. And for you, Michelle, and for any of you guys, when you go see that cardiologist or any doctor, I want the first words out of your mouth to be, Doctor, I'm not here for a prescription. Okay. I want you to evaluate my PVCs. I want you to make sure nothing's wrong with my heart, but I don't want you to think that I'm expecting a prescription or I'll give you a bad review. In fact, I'd rather leave here without a prescription unless I truly need a prescription medication. If all you guys would start saying that to your doctor every time you go, including when you have sinus infection, doctors would not prescribe antibiotics and other medications when they're not needed nearly as often. So always keep that in mind. When you go to the doctor, let that be the first sentence. Natalie, could you please explain the causes and treatment of IBS? I've had central abdominal pain for many years. Tests are normal. I just started keto and intermittent fasting. Thank you. Now, keto may make your IBS symptoms go away if that's what you truly have. Some people have to lower the carbs all the way until they're eating a carnivore diet. to have their IBS symptoms go away. Just vague abdominal pain, that may or may not be IBS. I would also recommend you go back to your doctor and ask for a referral to a specialist to figure out what exactly is causing this central abdominal pain. But I can just tell you, go to YouTube and type in carnivore diet and IBS and watch all the videos. There's thousands upon thousands of testimonials of people who used to have severe IBS who now they don't have it.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
I have a whole video dedicated to my IBS story and how it's improved. Well, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's not just improved. It's just gone.
Yeah. When we were dating, Neisha was just eating whatever. And depending on the drama of the moment, the stress level, we'd be driving down the interstate and she'd be like, rest stop.
Not just drama, though. It could just be we were going to Nashville to have a good time and there was no stress. And I couldn't go to Nashville without at least one pit stop. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. But that never happens now.
No.
Never.
Crazy.
Yeah. Except sometimes after we go to our Puerto Rican relatives and she indulges some, then sometimes.
Well, that's my fault.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, definitely get that checked out. Natalia. Nav, thoughts on stores in America selling beef coming all the way from Australia. I usually find that in Whole Foods. There's absolutely no reason to buy beef or sheep meat that has come from New Zealand or Australia. We used to have a box service that delivered meat, and it was New Zealand meat. And I didn't really know that up front, but then I started looking at them like, so you're telling me they put this meat on a cargo ship. It probably went into San Diego, and then they trucked it all the way across to Tennessee. How's that good for the planet? No. And so we get all of our meat now locally, either from our own farm with regards to sheep or from a rancher just up the road with regards to beef.
We also get it from White Oak.
And then
also.
White Oak pastures, we get some cuts that our butcher's not familiar with or whatever.
Well, our lamb.
They have it right. They have a primal blend of ground beef that also has heart and liver ground in it that you can't taste at all at White Oak pastures.
It's called paleo.
The paleo blend. That's right. Yep. And it's delicious, and it is a superfood.
We actually have to buy another. We had a whole cow in the freezer, and we've eaten everything except for the crappy cuts, basically roasts and things like that. So now we have to buy another cow.
Yeah, not that any cut of cow is crappy, but I know what you mean.
Well, they're not.
I know what you mean.
They're not steak and ground beef.
Jennifer D, any advice on hair loss from switching to carnivore? So Jennifer D, you and thousands of other women have noticed that when they're on a diet that helps them lose unnecessary stored fat really quickly, they're going to have some hair loss. In fact, any dietary change that's a significant change in your diet, you're going to have some hair loss. I've got a YouTube video about this on my channel that you can watch. People who start Weight Watchers, Slim Fast. There's even been weight loss or hair loss reported with Ozempic. Anytime you're losing a ton of weight, your body's going to freak out. You're going to lose some hair. Now, you were talking about your IBS story on your channel, but you forgot to tell people how to find your channel.
Oh, you just search for my name, Neisha, N-I-E. I can't spell my name, N-E-I-S-H-A. I'm thinking about three things. I'm trying not to forget what I said.
N-E-I-S-H-A.
In my head, because I have something I need to say.
Okay, say it.
Okay, before I forget. Just because we're talking about ordering from White Oak Pastures or supporting your local farmer, that doesn't mean we think whatever budget meat you have access to is bad. If you're on a budget and you have to buy your meat from Costco, Walmart, Aldi, like whatever, buy the best you can afford. In fact, I bought some Walmart meat today. You can see it on my What I Eat in a Day blog that goes up this week because we're out of steaks in the freezer. So just to be clear, we don't think you have to do grass-fed, grass-finished, perfect meat. Do what you can afford. We can afford to support those local ranchers, so we do. The
cheapest meat that you can afford to buy at the most discount grocery store is 1,000 times better for you than anything made by Kellogg's, General Mills, or Post. Okay. We were in H-E-B when we were in Texas. We love H-E-B. Every time we would drive by, what would Beckett say?
H-E-B.
H-E-B.
He loves it.
Yeah, he loves it. And so they had a 10-pound stick of ground beef. It was 80-20. And when you did the math, it was $2.75 a pound. Now, you buy a 10-pound stick of ground beef and 18 count eggs, 12.5 eggs. That's it. That's all you need nutrition wise. And that's all you have to spend for several days. Now, if you're me, that's about what, 3 days, 4 days. But for a petite like Neisha, if she lived alone in an apartment, that would last you a week.
Maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah. And so don't think, oh God, carnivore is so expensive. No, you can buy the cheapest meat that you can find on sale. Buy it in bulk, put it in the freezer. It's actually going to be cheaper because you never snack in between meals. You typically wind up eating 1 or 2 meals a day because you're just not hungry anymore. And then you're not buying all these little, this and that, the cookies, the chips, all that.
You're also not buying vegetables that sit in your refrigerator
and go back. Because
That's right. Forgot they were in there.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Food waste is such a waste of food and money. Did we do this one?
I don't know.
What can I say to someone that says it's all about the calories? Calories in, calories out. Calories are the reason people are fat, etc. I wouldn't say anything to them, Rush Man. I would just laugh at them and walk off.
Or just be like, okay.
That kind of thinking is becoming increasingly less popular with the gurus and the influencers that used to say that nonstop. If you've noticed, you still hear the echo of that lie. Like your friend here that keeps saying this, because your friend just doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. But increasingly, gurus out there, Lane Norton's a good example. He used to say this, just set in stone. Get a tattoo on your chest. It's calories in, calories out. Now he admits, no, a calorie is not a calorie. A calorie of ribeye versus a calorie of Snicker bar does not behave the same way in your body. There's more and more research coming out showing that the hormonal effects of the food you eat, that's what causes you to gain weight or lose weight. Primarily the insulin and glucagon, but many others are involved.
Just like most things, it's not black and white. There's some gray in there, and usually it's a whole lot.
A whole lot of
gray.
A
little more complicated.
Cherish, how do you feel about wild blueberries? I love them. When our blueberries get ripe every year, I eat some. Beckett eats some. Neisha, Bonnie, we all eat some. Even Lily, our standard poodle, she'll eat a few blueberries. But that's for 2 weeks out of a 52-week year.
Definitely, if you can get them locally or you grow your own, that's the best, or organic. But the kids eat blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries fairly often. Yeah. But they don't have any health problems, and they're little kids and they're growing, and that's, we don't think, or I don't think that's a problem. I don't like berries, so I don't eat them. We also have huckleberry bushes growing wild in the woods here on the farm, and when the huckleberries are ripe, I eat a few of those too. They're not nearly as tasty, but it's fun because when I grew up, I was a country boy in the woods, and my dad's like, there's a huckleberry tree, boy, we'll eat some of them. And we did. And I didn't like them much, but we still ate them. So it's kind of like nostalgia for me to eat huckleberries. Then you get the craps.
If you eat too many huckleberries, you will get the sheets.
Ralph, my wife, and I just learned we are pregnant.
Huzzah!
What tips would you give on a diet for healthy pregnancy and baby?
Yeah. Meat and eggs every meal. Seafood several times a week. Liver once or twice a week. If you want to add in some veg, some berries, some nuts, I think that's fine. But prioritize the nutrient-dense superfoods of a carnivore diet, but then you can add in non-carnivore stuff if you want.
No, I agree, but would you like to add in the iodine aspect?
Yeah. You need to probably supplement with iodine. I've got a video on my YouTube channel about iodine-rich foods. If your wife is like, "Ooh, I love those foods," then that's fine. If not, supplement some iodine. Make sure she's minding her minerals. We have a daily mineral drop and a capsule. There's the drops right there, and that's the capsules. There's a link in the show notes if you want to check that out. And then vitamin D and vitamin K2. That's if you're eating lots of meat and eggs and liver once or twice a week, you don't need a long list of supplements. Out of an overabundance of caution, we would probably both recommend you take a folate supplement. But if you're eating that much meat, you don't need it. But
especially eggs. But I always say it's not going to hurt anything to take some folate.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt a thing.
Not folic acid.
Not folic acid. That's
folate.
Right. Yes. Dark sky. Had infected tooth. Was in the ER with chronic inflammatory shortness of breath, tingling hands, fast heart rate, no sepsis. Had it removed today. I feel a bit better. Was it immune response? You're probably early sepsis, and it just didn't show up in the lab work. Did they send off a blood culture? Going to rheumatology tomorrow. What to ask him? I'm not sure what to ask him. I predict tomorrow when you wake up, you'll feel even better. And if the ER doc referred you to rheumatology, if that's who did it, then you might consider canceling that appointment. But definitely follow up with either your PCP or the rheumatologist after the ER visit.
Marnie.
Marnie. Hey, Marnie.
When is Woman's World or something like it going to put Neisha on the cover? There were many reasons to do so.
I agree.
That one's asked me.
I've got connections with Woman's World. I may reach out and just say, you know what?
I would literally die of embarrassment. Not that I don't want to, I think that would be really cool, but if I walked in and someone had that magazine and with my face on it, I would just be like, oh my God. I don't know why.
I love it. That'd be awesome. I'll see what I can do about that. That's a great
I'm
idea.
Blushing right now.
That is a great idea. Michelle Taft, hi from New Jersey. Keto for 10 years, sucked in by keto shelf products. Total failure. Yep. So many people say, I tried keto and it didn't work. And that's because they went to the grocery store and bought literally everything that had keto on the front of the package, the bag or the box. That's not keto, folks. That's not keto. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for 1 week already feel fabulous. Question, will LMNT break a fast? The unflavored LMNT will not, definitely not.
It's called raw, I think.
Is that what they call it?
It's raw,
yeah.
Unflavored.
Redmond's Relight, they also have an unflavored. There's several of them that have an unflavored.
Salty also has
Salty has an unflavored, yep. And so pick one. If you're worried about your insulin response, just get the unflavored. Then you don't have to worry about it. But I think for some people, the sweetness of the flavored electrolytes could potentially raise your insulin a little bit. Firefly, I have PACs, premature atrial contractions. Is keto bad for this? No. In fact, it'll probably help improve that. We've seen multiple cases of people with atrial fibrillation whose AFib got less severe, got better. In some cases, went completely away. It depends on what's causing your PACs. Firefly, you need to see cardiology and have this completely investigated. Will losing more weight help this? That's probably not what's causing it, but the part about keto that helps you lose unwanted stored fat could also help with your PACs. Seems that I need a few carbs per day. Just started heart meds. Gotcha. So you've seen the heart doctor. Follow up with your heart doctor. Keep slowly cutting the carbohydrates down, and I think you'll see some vast improvement. Now, our previous questioner was from New Jersey, but the rest of you have not told me where you're watching from. Tell me in the comments, what city, what state, what country, where are you watching this from? Ashley. Oh no.
I know. Grief is taking me over. My grandmother passed from pancreatic cancer and my alcoholism is taking over. This is so hard. Any insight can help. Ashley, I think at this point, the best thing for you to maybe look into a place where you can go stay that has round the clock support just so you can get over the hump because you've been hit with several. I know, Ashley, that's why I'm talking to her like this. You've been through several things back to back to back, and you may need that extra boost of support. So I would maybe look into that. You've
had so many dramas and traumas. I mean, this is huge. And I agree. You may need a period of inpatient where you just don't have to worry about anything.
There's nothing wrong with doing that. That doesn't mean anything bad against you. So, have no negative thoughts about doing that. It's 100% a positive thing.
Think about it as an investment of time and money in future Ashley, because that's who we want. We want future Ashley who no longer has a problem with these substances, and that's what that will be, as an investment to bring about future Ashley. Our heart's with you, girl. Do what you need to do. Just yes. One day, will you do a vid on all things endometriosis? I already have a video about fibroids. I have several videos about PCOS, and everything I say in those videos also applies to endometriosis. Now, there are there's obviously differences between endometriosis and PCOS and uterine fibroids, but the diet that you need to be eating to calm down the endometriosis and calm down the inflammation, the hyperinsulinemia, and the hormone abnormalities, it's the same diet. So check those videos out. Now, this is smart. Aaron bought a copy of my book, Lies My Doctor Told Me, to give to his primary care doctor.
I wonder how your doctor felt about that. Was he positive or was he like?
And if any of you guys want to do this, some of you want to do it snarky like, here, doc, you need to read this. Others of you are like, hey, I like you, doc. Will you please read this book? But there's actually a chapter in the back of the book dedicated just to doctors at various stages in their career. And so you might, to kind of soften the blow, you might say, I've read chapter, I forget which chapter it is. And I thought of you, and I thought, you know, at this stage in your career, you might like to see that chapter, and then maybe they'll read the whole book. Good ninja strategy. Thank you very much. Hey, Holly Gracie. Mark, shout out to Nurse Neisha. I've been using beef tallow moisturizer on my 70-year-old skin since she mentioned it, and I love it. Feeling good is good for my health.
Love it. Beef tallow is where it's at.
Yep. And we know a ballerina who we've met a couple of times. Olivia is a beautiful ballerina, and I think now the only thing she puts on her skin is beef tallow. She used to be like Neisha used to be. She'd have $800 worth of cosmetic crap. Just the entire. And
she's a baby. She needs nothing for her face.
Right,
she's
exactly.
Like 22, I think.
As long as she eats carnivore, her acne is non-existent. She just has beautiful young skin, and so she moisturizes with beef tallow. That's it. I love that. Melody, thank you to the berries. Thank you very much, Melody.
Jules.
Hi from Australia. Any tips for B6 toxicity on carnivore? My blood test was high. My B6 was also high. If you're not taking a B6 supplement, and make sure to look through all your supplements, because sometimes companies will just add a random B vitamin in with another supplement. So you may be taking a supplement and not know it. That could be causing this. Okay. But if you look through all your supplements and you're not taking a B6 supplement, don't worry about this. Okay. Nobody ever. And so you don't have B6 toxicity. That's probably what your doctor said. You've just got high B6, and that has never been proven to be dangerous or bad. Fatigues, muscle, joint pain, other blood sock. I don't know what that means. Your symptoms may or may not be coming from the high B6. I would say they're probably not, but definitely follow up with your doctor if you feel like they are.
Somebody said beef tallow on your skin. Good way to get kisses from your cats and the dogs. They love to lick my legs.
And your husband. I like licking their legs too. John Doe, 60-year-old with BPH. My urologist said my keto carnivore diet is adding to my symptoms. I've got a video on my YouTube channel about BPH, in particular, the amount of red meat. So go back to your urologist and say, doctor, I'm really glad you warned me about red meat. Could you maybe have your nurse or somebody print out the research that shows that red meat makes BPH worse? I would love to read those studies because I'm kind of a nerd, and watch your doctor go, well, I mean, it's common knowledge. Then say, well, there is research, right, that proves that eating red meat makes BPH worse, right, doctor? Or you wouldn't have said that to me, right? And watch your doctor go, yeah. So your doctor's full of shit, John. There is zero research that shows that eating red meat makes BPH worse. Okay. I've got a video on my YouTube channel you can watch for more information. There's links to the research in the show notes. Marie, what would you recommend for baby's first food, especially types of meat? So both of our babies were breastfed. And when they weaned, started to wean on solid food. So when were they ready to wean? Baby-Led Weaning's a great book. We love her weaning techniques. We don't agree with her own diet, but we love her weaning techniques. When they've got a tooth or two coming through.
When they can sit up on their own.
When they can sit up unassisted.
They can grab and put in their mouth on their own.
That is your baby sign languaging to you, I'm ready for solid food. That's what that means. And so the very first food that for both Beckett and Bonnie.
Scrambled eggs.
Was scrambled eggs. And I think for Beckett, it was actually a rib that I had.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it was a beef rib or a pork rib. I'd gotten most of the meat off, and he was reaching out. I was like, here.
The first food he actually ate. Yeah. Was scrambled eggs, and then from there he had sausage patties. He could pick up the pieces, put them in his mouth. Babies have great gag reflexes. That doesn't mean they're choking. That means their body's doing what it's supposed to do to keep them from choking. So
that's right.
That's normal. And then they also had liver pate.
Both loved it. Now, Beckett won't touch it now, but I think Bonnie would because she loves to eat mud. So I think she'd still like
mud. Yeah. And then also we would cut steak into strips, long strips, so their little chubby hands can hold it, and they just gnaw on it and they suck the juices out. And
Yep.
It's good for teething
Yep.
also.
Yep.
And then once they got that down, I sometimes would like chew the steak up for them, and then like a mommy bird, I would give it to them, and then they would eat that too. And then after that, they pretty much could eat everything. So then they just ate what we ate.
Yep. And that's what they've always eaten. It's what we eat. What's at the table. That's what they eat. We don't puree it. We never have. We ever bought a single jar of baby food?
Bonnie did get pouches of this brand that's very clean, and it's meat and maybe like some sweet
Pureed
potatoes.
meat.
I can't remember the brand, but they have it at Target. It's very clean ingredients. But that was because my mom was scared that she was going to choke. So I would give her those pouches so she could have something to
So you're
eat.
actually getting that for the adult, not the baby.
She
Yes.
didn't get that much, but that is a good option for those moms who are like
Yes.
nervous, or you have a grandma helping take care and they're nervous.
Paul Beater, hey, this is one of our private community members. Hal Kramer does high-fat keto in his nursing home, sends folks home about 50% of the time. Yep, I follow him on Twitter. Many interviews with him on the YouTubes. Yeah, and so if any of you guys have an elderly loved one that you love, and you would love it if they could come home from the nursing home, check out Hal Cranmer. I think that's spelled right, Paul Beater. And how they take care of their people in assisted living. It matters. Food is a big deal. Kim, I don't like the taste and texture of liver, but I like liverwurst. Is liverwurst almost as good as liver? Yes. Also, liver loaf, liver cheese, Braunschweiger, which is basically liver bologna or bologna. Bologna.
We say bologna.
We say bologna here in Tennessee, and I don't even know. Am I pronouncing it bologna? Do people say bologna?
I don't know.
That don't even
Probably.
sound right. Bologna. I'll have some a bologna sandwich.
Kim, if you haven't tried liver pate, try it.
Liver pate.
I think you might actually like it. It's
yes.
so rich and creamy and just, man, it's good.
So good. So
You
good.
can make it yourself for fairly cheap too. Like really cheap if you use chicken liver.
Yeah, Nav says, is ground beef bought from stores is supposed to be cooked well done? Is it still beneficial? Yes. I think meat cooked well done is still very, very nutritious. I try to never cook any meat well done. That's a technical term. Medium to medium rare, that's where all our meat is, including the meat we give the kids. Even hamburger, when we get hamburger from a source that we trust, we don't cook it well done. Ever. And that's because you lose some amount of vitamins, not all. You'll hear influencers say both ways, but absolutely the fact is when you cook past kind of medium rare, you're going to lose a little bit of the vitamin content. None of the minerals, they all stay in there. So if you're currently like Granny Berry, who only eats meat well done, try to back that up a little bit and say, well, maybe I'll try it medium well. Is that a thing? Like not well done.
Medium well is a thing.
Medium well,
but
yeah.
Generally, it's just most people skip that part.
And then go back to medium after a few times of medium well, because you're going to get a little bit more of the vitamins. Yeah. Jennifer.
Look at this cat. Y'all can't see her, but she is very comfortable in my lap. Just curled up.
Y'all want to peek? Look at this kitten. Look at this. This is our life.
She's very happy.
Happy cat. I'd be happy too if I was laying in your lap.
Stop
Jennifer, what is a safe blood ketone level for a type 1 diabetic doing carnivore? Thanks to both. So Jennifer, any type 1 diabetic, including you need to be working closely with your doctor, especially as you're weaning down how much insulin you use, because you are at risk of developing ketoacidosis if you don't use enough insulin. And if your blood sugar gets too high. So work with your doctor. There are also online MD type 1 diabetic specialists that you can remote visit with. But really, if you are just in ketosis, there's no number that's going to be dangerously high. Okay, it's perfectly safe for you to have a 5, 6, 7 as a type 1 diabetic if it's ketosis. Now, if you've got an infection or you had some trauma or you just ran out of insulin and your ketones are getting high, then that could be a sign of ketoacidosis. Those are two different things.
Real quick, somebody said, what are you going to put liver pate on? Girl, a spoon.
A spoon.
But if you aren't carnivore, you can use celery if you're not sensitive to celery. You can use bacon, pork rinds.
Yep. Pork rinds with liver pate.
Super good.
And
honestly, I eat it with a spoon.
And some people think like, oh, meat skins are redneck. Where was that restaurant?
No one is saying that.
I've heard people say that, make fun of like, oh, pork rinds. Oh, we were at some frou restaurant. And remember they had like this delicate little, it was a pork skin at this 5-star.
In Chicago.
Yes. And it was like.
But it was massive. Like it was the
whole.
It was big. It came on the. Yeah. What was some appetizer we got? Oh, the steak tartare.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
It was steak tartare. You dipped it with a meat skin.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, these are my people. All right. The Happy Texas Mom.
Been carnivore for 8 months. How can I lower my testosterone? Doc says it's high.
So I would have to know what your testosterone level was to know if I agree with your doc that it was high or not. Women don't have as high a testosterone level as men. But the range for normal testosterone in women, it can be anywhere from 30 to 150. I've seen hundreds of women with different testosterone levels over the decades that I've been dealing with hormone optimization. And so some of the women that I would prescribe the hormone cream for or do pellets for, they were perfect when their testosterone was 30 or 40. Others, like I can't feel that. And it'd have to be 75 or even higher. So I don't know if your testosterone's high or not. If you want to become a member of our private community, you can share your labs in the group and we can all discuss that. There's a link in the show notes if you want to do that.
Carnivorous
dude. My dad has dementia, but he says it's too late for him to do carnivore, 73 years old. How to convince him it is not too late. This is touchy, and we've talked about this multiple times. If you have an older relative, if you're like, Dad, do you like meat and eggs? And he says, well, hell yeah. Then just be his chef and cook him meat and eggs. There, he's eating a carnivore diet. But if he does not want to do it, then maybe talk about keto, right? Even if you converted him from standard diet to low carb, that's going to be a great improvement. It's definitely not too late for him. If he can still fog a mirror when he breathes on it, it's not too late.
I want to know why he thinks it's too late. Does he think he's just too old to have any healing or benefits? Because there are so many people in the comments right now and inside of our private community that are over 60, over 70.
In fact, what's
his name?
Les. Yeah,
there's Les too. But
there's a guy in our group who has a T-shirt that says "Kicking Ass After 70." It's not too late, but a lot of people after the age of 50 think it's too late, or 60. They're like, I'm washed up. It's too late for me. Why do people think that?
I don't know. Old Man Carnivore, right?
Old Man Carnivore.
Okay,
yep,
so
I love him.
He has a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Get your dad to sit down, watch some videos. He is very entertaining.
Yes.
I love him. Top fan. And maybe that would inspire him to see people his age doing this and having great benefits. Because, I mean, to be fair, it's mostly...
I think he's older than your dad.
Under 50 YouTubers and influencers that are on YouTube doing this sort of thing. So get him somebody he can relate to. Yep.
Blake, I'm on carnivore. Do I need to continue all the following supplements? Magnesium threonate, apinogen, theanine, omega. You don't need the omega-3. The D3K2 you probably need unless you're eating foods rich in D3 and K2. I've got YouTube videos about both those. It never hurts to take a magnesium supplement. MCT, no, you don't need that. Nicotinamide, no, you don't need that. CoQ10, if you're taking any prescription medications, you need to keep taking the CoQ10. Or if your CoQ10 level is low in blood work. Cistanchi tubulosa, no. Tomcat Ali, no, you don't need any of that stuff. Okay, hope that helps. You just saved money with this super chat.
How do you spell touche?
Touche with a little.
Well, I can't put that thing on.
Doolally.
I did spell it right. Go me.
Morgan, any recommendations for hyperthyroidism? I see a lot of people recommend carnivore for hypo, but don't ever hear about hyper. And there's a reason for that, Morgan. Hyperthyroidism is it's not just the opposite of hypothyroid. It's a completely different thing. You need to have your primary care doctor refer you to an endocrinologist. You need an imaging study of your thyroid. You might need a needle biopsy. There's a specific, doctors don't mismanage hyperthyroidism like they mismanage hypo. That's the big difference. That's why nobody talks about it. Any doctor knows to refer you to endocrinology if you have hyperthyroid. And every endocrinologist knows how to manage hyperthyroidism. Okay. Whereas the majority of doctors they just drop the ball on low thyroid or hypo and Hashimoto's as well.
Kevin says, hate to tell you, but I'm 75 and been on carnivore 8 to 9 months. I've lost 50 pounds and all my blood pressure meds within the first 2 months. I also linked old guy. Yes, I'm not just calling him the old carnivore guy. That's what he calls himself.
Old
on
guy
YouTube.
Carnivore. That's his name.
Old guy carnivore. And somebody
How
was like,
insensitive.
I know. No, that's what his channel is actually called.
He named himself that.
Yeah, Les is great in the group, but I don't know that he has a YouTube channel.
He's gonna. I don't know if he
Right.
has one yet.
So
but
when
he's
he
gonna.
does, then we'll link his too. But right now, I know he's got 24,000 subscribers, and let me just tell you, no, 26. He deserves more.
Yeah.
He
Old
deserves
guy
more.
Carnivore. He's hilarious.
hilarious.
Now he's got opinions, and he's not scared to share them.
Right, but I love that.
I do too.
I love that about
I do
him.
too.
I don't agree with everything, but I love that he doesn't give a crap because he's 76. He doesn't have to.
My Diana says my doctor is concerned about me eating meat and taking electrolytes and ordered potassium and magnesium levels, saying I can get too much. Is that possible? It's theoretically possible if you were say using 50 packets of element a day. It's theoretically possible. If you have normal kidney function, you're still going to pee it out. Your doctor thinks that your body is a weak and fragile, broken thing. A lot of doctors think that about the human body. Human body is actually virtually magical, which means we don't understand how it does the things it does. If you have normal kidney function, it's almost impossible. If you have normal kidney function and you're not taking a medication that mucks with your potassium or magnesium levels, it's virtually impossible to make your magnesium and potassium levels high using an electrolyte supplement once or twice a day. It's just almost impossible.
A lot of you
But get the testing done.
A lot of people follow old guy already.
Yes.
They love him. Yeah, he's just.
How old is he? Did anybody say?
76. 73. He's in his 70s.
Yeah. He's kicking ass after
I'd
70.
like to have him on
Oh,
my
sure.
channel.
Oh, you should. That'd be hilarious.
No.
Brandon, is it bad to eat a lot of trout
Trout.
cooked in butter on carnivore? No, dude. You can eat
Catch them yourself.
You can eat I catch them myself. So cheap and tasty. Thanks for your help, guys. Dude, you can eat 3 pounds of trout cooked in butter every day for the rest of your life. Get the liver also, and the heart and trout's tiny, but get the liver. Absolutely, eat the trout liver as well. And if you get any pregnant trout, eat the eggs. Eat it all. Yes, 100% superfood. I love it that you catch it. That makes it FREE. Jen. Both knees are bone on bone. I was swimming for exercise. Now I have a torn rotator cuff, but no time for surgery help. Jen, I don't know what your current diet is. You didn't say, but if you will go strict carnivore, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, we know how many people that had bone on bone knees, hips, thumbs, shoulders, and they now have no joint pain at all, even though it's bone on bone, the doctor said. Okay. Now, torn rotator cuffs, it depends on which rotator cuff muscle it is, and it depends on how torn it is. Many rotator cuff muscle tears will heal depending on which muscle and how severely it's torn, with enough time, enough gentle physical therapy, and a proper human diet. So I would go strict carnivore, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I would have your doctor get an MRI if they haven't already, and then go see an orthopedist and say, look, I'd like to put off surgery if that's possible. Can I just do general PT with the hospital or the PT of your choice and just give this time to heal and see if it heals? Most orthopedists will say, yeah, I don't care. But talk to your orthopedic specialist about that. Stacy, what have I done wrong while eating carnivore to make my Graves come back? Maybe nothing at all. Sometimes Graves just comes back. Recent labs show TSH 0.005, T4 2.45, also BUN 20, creatinine 0.54. I don't care about your BUN to creatinine ratio. That's irrelevant. I don't care much about your BUN. But if your Graves' disease has come back, do what your doctor says about the Graves' disease, but your kidney function is not the issue here. IV worsened tinnitus from an antibiotic. Yep, there's a list of antibiotics that can give you tinnitus or make your tinnitus worse. No hearing loss found on a steroid now. What else can be done? Adopt a proper human diet and stick to a proper human diet. Okay, and if you don't know what a proper human diet is, there's a free guidebook down in the show notes you can get. I'll email it to you for free. I've got a video about tinnitus on my YouTube channel. And just read the comments. People that went keto, ketovore, carnivore, their tinnitus got much less severe. Yes, ma'am.
I have a shout out.
Okay.
This was Loki, who's laying in my lap, loving on me. She did that. Orlando says, I am 79 years old and have been doing carnivore for a year and 2 months, and I've lost 150 pounds and off all meds. Okay?
Yep.
All right. You're never too old to improve on anything.
Yep.
Much less your health.
Yeah. Guys, listen.
What's the alternative? You just go roll over and die?
Roll over and die. That's your other alternative. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. There are so many people over the age of 50, 60, 70 that could still be living productive lives, still working if they wanted to, still having hobbies, actually being present with their grandkids and great-grandkids and having fun with them, but they're not eating a proper human diet. So they're inflamed, they're stiff, they're in pain, they have brain fog, they're depressed, they're fatigued, they're sleepy.
In a long-term care facility.
Yeah. And so we're not up here just blowing smoke up your butt, okay? We're telling you we have seen people. There are people in the comments right now in their 60s, 70s, and 80s and beyond who eat a proper human diet, and they live a life that your dad, the 73-year-old, doesn't even know that it's possible. Couldn't even dream that could be possible for him. It's absolutely possible. Absolutely possible.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Adam, gastric bypass, distal revision, reverse gastric bypass, and distal revision, intestinal blockages, resections, electrolytes are terrible thoughts. Dude, your gastrointestinal system has been mutilated surgically multiple times. I hope that this last revision, when it heals, will give you some relief. This is one of the dangers of gastric bypass. People think, oh, I'll just have a great gastric bypass and everything will be great. This is a huge surgery. Okay, it is a big deal. There is a long list of possible complications, including this right here. I hope that this turns out okay, Adam, but I mean, there is a chance that you're stuck with this. I hope that's not the case. I hope that you'll be able to heal and come back from this, but this is why I warn people, just wait. Go carnivore for 90 or 180 days before you have a gastric bypass, please, because you can always just quit eating carnivore, but after you've had a gastric bypass, Adam's stuck.
Well, I want to talk about something that we haven't talked about tonight, but it is super important to mention when we're talking about aging and aging well. We don't talk about working out a lot because we don't think working out is the best way to lose fat. That doesn't mean we don't think it's important. In fact, it is very important to make sure your body is strong and you are able to do the things that you're able to do now. Go to the bathroom on your own, take a shower, get up out of a chair.
Yep.
Those things, if you weight train, and that doesn't mean you have to go be a gym rat, okay? Lifting 2 to 3 pounds, if that's heavy for you, that's going to help you be in the geriatric Olympics, okay? There's this video that I saw on Instagram. It was these people, and they were older. Y'all get real woked up when I say specific ages, so we're going to say older, okay? And they were lifting weights, and then it would show exactly what that mimicked. So lifting a weight over your head is putting something up on the shelf, and doing squats is getting up off the toilet. Those type of things, if you don't continue to give those muscles work to do, they will deteriorate. You won't be able to do them anymore. Yep. You'll have to have someone do them for you.
Yeah, which means being in assisted living or a nursing home. Yes. That's what that leads to. So if you'd like to avoid that, We've got so many people in our private group who are now in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond who are lifting weights. And that doesn't mean joining Planet Fitness and being a gym rat. That doesn't mean that. You can lift weights at home for free. And we talk about this all the time in our private community when we're doing the extra live Q&As that we do in there each and every week. I'm telling you, there's hope. You think there's no hope? There is hope. If you can fog a mirror.
That means this.
Means if you're still living,
Breathe in.
if you're not dead, you're still an athlete. You can still strengthen your muscles and strengthen your bones and strengthen your brain. All those things are still trainable unless you're dead. If you're dead, why are you watching this? Go lay down. Okay, but if you're not dead, there's hope. Yep. But you got to work for it a little bit.
If you have a family member that isn't dead, there's hope. Okay? If they don't even know who you are anymore, get Dr. Boz's book. What's the title of it? I can't ever remember. It's about her mom, and that's
Annette
really good.
Bosworth
Yes.
is her name.
Dr. Boz. Also, Amy Berger has a great book on Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's antidote. Yep, absolutely. Mary Newport has a book. Dr. Mary Newport, about how she used coconut oil to help her husband with Alzheimer's. You guys think, well, you don't understand. Grandpa's got dementia. Yeah, no, we understand. We get that. Yeah, she was a nursing home nurse for how many years? We understand why people wind up in the nursing home. And we're telling you that all those things are going to improve at least some degree with a proper human diet. We're not joking. We're not kidding. We're not trying to sell you anything. We're telling you the truth. It's up to you whether you act on it or not. I can't make you do that.
My tests indicate diabetes. I am 33, not overweight, but skinny fat. A1C is 10.
Oh, that's terrible,
Also anemic, prescribed iron pills, metformin, 1,000 milligrams, glipizide. Never take medication ever. Please help. I'm so ashamed. Don't be ashamed.
Yeah, stop that right now. That's not going to help anything. Now, first of all, you need to know, are you type 1 or type 2? And your doctor would say, well, you're 33. It has to be type 2. No, it doesn't. Okay. There's something called LADA. There's adult onset type 1. You need a fasting insulin level checked in. And if it's 0 or 0.1 or 0.2, then you're a type 1 diabetic. You need insulin. But if it's high, which I predict it will be if you're type 2, then you're also not only are a type 2 diabetic, but you also have hyperinsulinemia. You need to immediately pick. Would you be perfectly happy eating just meat and eggs? If you're like, yeah, I would love that. Carnivore, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Start that immediately. If you're like, no, I love veg, then Ketovore or Carnivore. Neisha has multiple videos about keto and Ketovore on her channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Neisha. Neisha.
Good job.
Good job. And then I have hundreds of videos about keto, Ketovore, and Carnivore on my YouTube channel. Your A1C is currently 10. If you will pick meat heavy keto or Ketovore or Carnivore, within 3 months, when you recheck that A1C, it'll be down to about 7.2. In 3 more months, it'll be down to about 6.2 or 6.1. In about 3 more months, it'll be back to normal. You will completely reverse your type 2. If you're type 2, remember, get your fasting insulin check to make sure. Don't be ashamed of this. What I want you to be, is I want you to be pissed off that the people who taught you how to eat, whoever that was, the doctors that gave you the handout said, eat this food pyramid, eat lots of fruits and veg, have lots of whole grain bread, eat lots of whatever. The food companies, Kellogg's, so Heart Healthy on the Raisin Bran. Those are the people that got you here, okay? Be mad at them. Use your anger productively to say, I'm going to reverse this. I'm not having this. Whether you're type 1 or type 2, you can have a normal A1C within 6 to 9 months. Do it.
Give a shout out to the sponsors of this live stream, our members in the PhD community.
Yep. We're not sponsored by Big Food or Big Pharma. We're not
anybody.
really sponsored by supplement companies or apps or anybody. We're sponsored by people whose health we've actually helped. And they're in our private community. And they continue to glean benefits by having this huge community of people who eat a proper human diet.
But not only that, they also help each other. We have
Yes.
so many members that are so active in the community. They help one another. everybody's loving and kind, and if they're not, they get kicked out, and that's just the way that it is.
Yep.
And we also have PhD coaches, mentors who are in there to help you guys. They do live streams. We have a good friend, Chris Cooking Nashville, who does some cooking demos in there sometimes. I think he's got another one coming up maybe this week or next week.
Absolutely.
And of course, we're in there too. So,
and then also every time I do an interview with a specialist, with one of the leading experts in the world on a particular subject, we record that interview live in front of the private community so they actually can ask the expert questions. And then the next day I post that interview on YouTube so YouTube people can ask them questions. But our private tribe members get to ask questions from some of the leading authorities in the world, like Professor Ben Bickman. I just interviewed Isabella Cooper today, who's a PhD research scientist who does nothing but ketone and insulin research in the UK. I've had veterinarians. I've had every specialty you can imagine. Our tribe members get to ask them questions while we're live. So just a thought. If you'd like to join a growing tribe of people who believe that a proper human diet is the way every human should eat, and they're happy to help you and take your hand and say, yeah, come on, I was right where you're at. Let me show you what I did. You need to be part of our community.
It doesn't mean Dr. is your doctor if you join, though.
That's right.
Sorry, it doesn't. But thanks so much for joining us. We will see you in the group tomorrow or next week right here, same place, same time.
Absolutely. If you need to have a question answered, I'm going to be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central.